Certainly. Certainly. Indeed. Thank you. Certainly. Indeed. Thank you. Certainly. Certainly. Thank you. Indeed. A very warm welcome to the Sadler's Wells Theatre. It would be no exaggeration for me to say that I and the entire Hysteria 2 corporate structure are really quite pleased to see you here this evening. Thank you for coming. A word or two about the cameras that you see around you. They are shooting the entire performance, and certain highlights of it will be shown, certain highlights which may include you, of course, though they're slightly less likely to include you. No, I'm just being senselessly lovely there. I also ought to warn certain of you before we begin what I know will be a marvellous lit, that there will be certain scenes, for those of you who are offended by bad language, which do contain some examples of shockingly loose and free grammar. There are malapropisms, misnomers, and some complete misusages of words. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a sign of a poor vocabulary, but there are those who insist on using it. Later on, we'll have a tautology or two, a split infinitive, and in one case, somebody ending a sentence in a preposition. For those of you who've led rather sheltered lives, I ought to explain that, well, I can give an example. In the second act, someone uses the phrase, "Why don't you pissheads fuck off?" Now, off, you see, is a preposition. And it's the kind of word that you should never end a sentence with. In fact, actually. The other thing I ought to come clean about is myself. I know this sounds a bit formal, but then I like formality. Wasn't it Oscar Wilde who was in prison for sodomy? I don't know why I said that, I'm so sorry. I've never made any secret of the fact that, sexually speaking, I don't. I don't, I won't, I haven't, in fact, for about 7 years. To be frank, the prospect of those damp, tufted areas of the human body holds no appeal for me whatsoever. The prospect of grinding and plunging and licking and frotting those moist mucous membranes leaves me appallingly cold. However, and it's a very large however, one of the largest ever recorded in this postal district, I do reserve the right to choose the gender of those people I don't go to bed with. I won't go to bed with anybody. I won't go to bed with girls or boys, men or women, ocelots, outboard motors, strimmers, architects, anybody or anything that is willing, I'll not go to bed with. Now, AIDS shouldn't change that. This appalling disease, whose miseries we are all here in our own small way to help try and alleviate, shouldn't change any of that. Safety, yes. Prudence, certainly. But Puritanism and intolerance, never. Because it is a fact that even if this awful virus were to increase 1,000-fold in the next 10 years, it would never and could never destroy as many lives as intolerance daily does. However, that's getting heavy. And kids, no. It's absolutely no part of my remit to be heavy. We're here to be light, to be glossy, to be quiveringly lovely. And to that end, I'm very pleased to be able to announce one of the most pleasant-smelling acts currently working in Britain today. At their own expense, they've kindly faxed themselves over from Copenhagen, where they're enjoying a very successful season. They are the team from Channel 4's increasingly popular Who Dares Wins. Welcome them, please. Thank you.